Twitch's fucking video. I don't like OBS's video player at all.
Yeah, I guess so.
I've had way too many issues. I'm just playing it real quick to see if I can get the fuck ups out of the way. I don't know what the hell VLC is doing 90% of the time. I'm just gonna play it 2 or 3 times through.
Okay.
Challenge happy to allowed off.
Wait a minute, were you saying that you don't like how OBS works with video, but you're complaining about how VLC fucks up? Like,
well, I just don't I don't know why it does it, because it's like I play it once and it goes fine, and then the very next time it's not. But it only ever happens one playthrough, so it's just a matter of finding which one it is.
Okay.
It's just odd. I feel like if it stays paused for too long is usually what causes it, and then you unpause it, and VLC for some reason can't keep up with it. I don't know what it is. But anyway, on that note, I think we're good to start the show, gentlemen. Are you ready?
Yeah, sure.
All right,
let's do it.
Let's get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome to State of the Realm, your weekly Final Fantasy XIV podcast. This week, no Airs Video. We're not doing it yet. We're waiting a few more weeks. We got stuff to talk about until then. Today, we're going to be talking about the Dengeki Online interview that Naoki Yoshida did recently. We also brought on a special guest to talk about another podcast. And he also did an interview with Yoshida in the last week, so if he wants to talk about that a little bit, he's more than welcome to as well. No pressure. It was his content, his show. He did it already. We'll make sure we talk about that here. But anyway, I'm one of your hosts, Michael, Mr. Happy Pogrom. Of course, joining me is Slyh, aka Slythefox, aka Slyh, aka Greyfox, aka you, my boy Blue. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. Good to be here. How are you doing?
Good to be. Yeah, that was really formal of you. I'm doing good. It's good to be here.
Do I bring that formal presence to you, Slyh, where you feel like you have to
Yeah. I gotta be a little bit more formal around you, Frosty.
I will try to be a little bit more professional as well.
Thank you so much.
All right, fuck that.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see how long that goes. And also joining us is a guest we haven't had for quite some time now. I can't remember the last show he was on, but he has been on 1 or 2 before, and that is FrostyTV from the fellow Final Fantasy XIV podcast, MogTalk.
Hey, man.
Hi, they can see us now, by the way.
Oh, can they see us? Oh, okay.
Now they can see us. I do it as soon as I introduce the guest and or guests, plural.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So I will try to do whatever, or try not to do whatever I did last time that got me off the show for the extended amount of time.
What show was the last? Luckily I can just do this and I can find out by typing your name.
I think it was the community team show, maybe.
Interview with the Final Fantasy XIV community team. That would be episode 39. For reference.
Wow.
This is episode 160.
130 episodes.
121.
Okay.
The good news is before that you had a pretty good track record. You were on 9 and 39. So exactly 30 apart. So it's multiplied by like 4, but yeah, you made it. You made it back.
It's okay. Look, I made it back. I made an impression. All you had to do was shave my face off. And apparently I look like I cleaned up enough to come on this respectable program, State of the Realm.
I wouldn't use the word
respectable.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And if we wouldn't, you sure as hell shouldn't. As far as I'm concerned. All right.
Well, thank you for bringing me on, dude. I appreciate it.
Well,
thank you for coming, man.
I figured it was only fair. You had me on MogTalk on Saturday, and so
that's what I got to do. I just have to invite you to my show.
To be fair, that is not the first time I've been on in the last 121 episodes of State of the Realm.
So maybe have you on for 3 times in a row, then...
That's like Beetlejuice. You say my name 3 times and you appear.
Okay.
It's like a reverse Beetlejuice.
I don't know how that makes any sense, but I'll go with it.
Doesn't have to. Entertainment, everyone. But anyway, this week, I want to give you the chance to talk about MogTalk.
Sure.
Probably want to give you that opportunity a little bit at the top of the show. Because like I said, it has been 121 episodes since we've had you on as a guest. And so some people already know, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I love that show," and other people are like,
Fuck
"All
that
right,
show.
who the fuck is this? Just get it out of the way. Who is it?"
Yeah. Do you want me to do a spill?
Do a spill. I'm gonna give you the floor
Pimp
now.
yourself out, dude. Pimp yourself
I'm
out.
gonna let you pimp yourself out now.
Are you ready for it?
Now I don't know. Now if you have to ask me.
So about 3 years ago, I decided to start making a podcast. I was like, hey man, it'd be really cool. I've never done anything like this. So I'm going to make a show. What sounds good? MogTalk sounds good. And then as soon as I started that show up, I checked YouTube and I found out this popular YouTuber started up his own podcast. And I was like, this son of a bitch. I won't go into who that was, but I figured.
Sly.
Yeah. But yeah, no, MogTalk, I've been running it for about 3 years. I bring on a variety of players from the the player base. It's all just data to me. Hardcore raiders, midcore raiders, RPers, not ERPers yet. We haven't had that show. We have it planned, but we haven't done it. We maybe at some point. We have to do that one a little bit later at night. We also do shows just on a variety of things like content creators that are out there. We've done a few job shows where we talk about paladins or tanks in general or dragoons or melee in general, depending on what I feel like in the week. And just recently we did that interview with Yoshida, the third one that we've had so far. And I also like PvP. I've done PvP shows before, so that's also another thing that we do over here. But yeah, that's it. I'm a podcast host who brings on random people, and sometimes it sucks and sometimes it doesn't.
And a lot of the times they're from Elysium. So when you say you haven't done an ERP show yet, I find that hard to believe considering what your guest list is comprised of.
Every once in a while, it seems like it's going in that direction, but I moderate it pretty well, I think.
That's another title for your moderator of ERP.
What was it? God, what's the person who stops something from happening? Just like
cock blocker?
Yeah, cock blocker of ERP. There you go.
That doesn't. All right.
That's an interesting title.
John Cena's got a movie about it, so it's coming out. So I'll take it. Anyway.
I saw that. But yeah, that's all MogTalk. That's it.
I didn't go with cock blocker thinking it was the actual answer. He said someone that stops something. A traffic guard would have worked.
Moderator. You said moderator. I think moderator is actually the right word. I can't think of anything else. Just the guard. The guard of that's it. That the
moderator
protector
of
God.
The moderator of light, or in the case of ERP, darkness.
I was going to say weak virginity, but no, that doesn't work out either because I don't have to protect that.
Nope. Nope, can't be done. Sly, are you ready for a full show of this?
I'm just going to sit here.
I am.
I'm going to keep talking and watch Sly's face the entire time and see how I can control this.
Yes! Now I don't have to talk as much because that's what I do. I can just enjoy it.
He's like my when you have like a meter and it goes up and down, his face is a meter for me. His reaction. That's all. What I'm saying is all. I'm looking at him. I'm waiting for him. Okay, so now he's like, get to the point. See, that's a good point in his face at the moment. So I'm enjoying it. All right, let's do it.
This is gonna be a hell of a show, ladies and gentlemen.
No, we've got plenty of important things to talk about.
Yeah.
Yes, we do. I promise. But anyway, wait, what? No. Oh, never mind. Just pretend nothing's happening. Ignore me. Anyway, so just this last week, you did an interview with Naoki Yoshida. You got it back and then said, all right, tomorrow we're doing a show. Pretty much.
100%.
What happened?
And I basically got the answers Friday afternoon, and I asked multiple people. Slyh is one of them who turned me down. I'm a little bit jaded by it. Well, not jaded. I guess my feelings are just a little hurt. And there's a handful of people. And I was like, you know what? If I can't get Slyh on, I guess I'll get Happy on. And so the
reasonable ladder to follow. Yeah,
exactly. And I just quickly went across the board. All these people, I've had good contacts with Happy. I've had good contacts with Ethis and good contacts with Balana. I figured we'd bring them all on, even though I keep forgetting who's in Elysium, and it turned out that more than half the people on the show.
No, half exactly.
Yeah. Well,
2 out of 4.
I guess so. Yeah, I don't count myself as a person usually. I'm usually just the guy that's controlling the
I
conversation.
don't count myself as a person. Hell of a sales pitch.
Yeah.
Hell of a sales pitch.
But yeah, no, I decided, and luckily enough, you guys responded to me, and you're like, "Yeah, I'll do it," and with 16 hours notice, and we threw together a show and said some stuff about the questions we had in there. And there's a lot of interesting things that he came back with, but some of it was pretty predictable. Was there anything in there that still stands out a little bit to you, Happy?
I think the only thing is there is an invisible section, and there's a question that was missing in the miscellaneous section. I don't know what happened to that one. There was also a full section that was about some topic. I think it was PvP. We'll just throw that out. But anyway,
I could say my spill on PvP. Do you want me to say my spill on PvP?
We'll get to it. No.
Okay.
I am the cock blocker of this topic right now. I'm the moderator right now.
Oh my God.
This is why I don't come on these shows.
I'll give you your chance.
Okay. Well, we talk about Blitzball, right?
So the one that stood out to me was the one talking about more difficult 4-man content, because that's been something we've been kind of hammering home for a while back. For anyone who doesn't know, simply asked, can we get some harder 4-man stuff? And I've thought about it a lot, actually, since Saturday, because he made comments of it being similar in difficulty to Palace of the Dead's floor 180 to 200. And obviously there was a Q&A that I did where he just mentioned that the next deep dungeon wouldn't require you to grind out insane numbers of floors if you wanted to get the more challenging stuff, so it's putting 2 and 2 together. But I thought more about the comment he made. For anyone who hasn't seen that episode of MogTalk, he made a comment saying that when it comes to just bosses for 4-man players, you run into the issue where if there's instant death mechanics and the healer goes, what can you really do? And I was like, why don't we just give the party the option to res like once, or like give you like a fail safe just in case the healer does go down, just a limited number of fail safes where you can res them with like the push of a button, or a Karn of Resurrection, or whatever the hell they are in Palace of the Dead.
The weird part about that statement to me is the instant death relation to healers. Instant death is because someone screwed up a mechanic. That's because a melee screws up, a tank screws up. The healer doesn't.
The healer can screw up.
They can't.
I like how you say the melee first.
Well, usually it's the melee.
Dragoon
right?
is in that list, so they qualify first. But anyway.
So that's what was kind of odd to me, because it didn't really correlate with what he was saying there. But I don't know if that was just maybe he had something else in his mind, like that he had the healers have to raise. They're the only person who could repair that situation in an instant death mechanic. But I
think they meant just if the healer goes, that's it. You're done. There's no other healer to pick up that healer, or you have to bring a red mage or a summoner or something. You have no choice in the matter. I think was more along the lines of where they were going, which to then I thought, why is there somebody brought in the chat a duty action that has a limited number of uses that you can use to resurrect party members? Something limited like that to bypass that being a potential issue.
So why don't we just do that for all content? Why not just
because that content's a joke.
Okay. Fair enough.
There you go.
But then again, like if you're going into difficult content, I don't know if it means, because the pressure isn't always. I think PvE is pretty balanced in that sense. It's not always, hey, the healer is number. They are very important. They have to keep people alive.
They're number one to me.
But they can't always kill a boss faster. They can help kill the boss a little bit, but they're not the reason something didn't hit a DPS check, or they're not the reason that a tank died because he didn't hit a cooldown rate. And so I feel like it's still balanced in that way, and it would still be fun if one person messes up, they died, and that's difficult. It's enjoyable. Everybody has that tension. I can't mess up, right?
But you say bring this into all content, so you're including like raid, ultimate.
Well, I don't think like they should, but I think.
But why not if you're already going to go down that path?
Yeah.
I just think that if that's the thing stopping them, is that if a healer dies, that's it, and they don't want to force people to bring a res as one of the slots, basically red mage or summoner. Then to me, I mean, there's plenty of options. It's just would it be a duty action? Would it be the Commanders, like an item that works like Commanders? Would it be Phoenix Downs being usable in combat, but still only being able to carry one? Then what happens when you run out of fucking Phoenix Downs? Like there's options there that I think they could just use to circumvent this one main gripe that they have. And I've just thought about that since Saturday a lot. Slyh,
You've been stewing on it?
I've been stewing on it. Slyh, what do you think? Would you be okay with like instant death difficulty, like 4-man content that's almost like Savage level, but to circumvent this one problem? Yeah, ultimate fucking hell's lid.
Yeah.
But that kind of contradicts this, like having something like that, res would kind of contradict the difficulty of the content, in my opinion.
But I think if there's no balance. I mean, that was another question too. Like when we talk about job development and everything else, he doesn't balance jobs in hard content. Oh, right. He does, but that's not the priority. Right. And so if everyone has to bring in a red mage, and that's just what it is. If you want to be a hardcore ultimate 4-man raider, then you're a red mage or you're a ninja, right?
God, I don't want
to. As if it's already meta for 4-man content.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
Are we really doing this? Are we really having this conversation?
If we're gonna have hard 4-man difficulty, I mean that's part of the equation, isn't it?
He's not wrong about that.
He's not wrong, but still,
we're talking about.
Thought I'd see today.
It's red mage solo, 100%. So
100%
everything that has difficulty to it.
I'm just saying that if that's the only thing preventing them, I feel like if you limit the option to just that instance, you can circumvent this one gripe you have about creating the content. And as long as it's limited, you can't do it forever, and then you can balance it around that, then go fucking ham. I don't think they should hold back from doing difficult 4-man bosses because of this. So...
Yeah, I don't think so either. And I know that question was actually something that was developed with a conversation with me and Layla. And, I think Layla loves WoW in certain aspects. And he's a big fan of, he loves difficult dungeons that WoW offers. And I think that's where he was grabbing it from. And so that could work for Final Fantasy. It's more of just having something that hardcore raiders can have something to do every day. Instead of, I beat content. What else is there? My challenge is over. Now do I just... Staying
awake in Eureka.
Yeah. Yeah, that's challenging content. You're right.
Yeah, look at it.
But then people, they cheat. They get
I'm going to get to that later. Because we haven't heard... I haven't heard your opinion about Eureka. So we'll push that back a little bit.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
All right. So that's what stood out to me. Is there anything you've been dwelling on from your own? Because as I know that as a host, you don't always get to say everything you want to say about a given topic.
You know what it is? It's PvP.
All right. So is there anything else there that? No. Okay.
No. Let him go.
We're letting him go. Okay. So you had a few questions about PvP on there and about its current state.
I'm great for asking questions about PvP.
Yeah.
I'll let you know that.
Yeah.
So the state of PvP, to even talk about it, is seen like a joke, right? You're like, it's not really content. No one cares. There's no reason to it. But
I care.
I want to put that on a shirt.
Yeah.
That exact quote. Put PvP and put that exact quote and put it on a shirt.
But I mean, if you think about it, all right. So we could say the same thing about RP. RP, no one cares about it. It's just some stupid thing on the side some people do, right? But that's just in that opinion. I would think overall that when it came to those questions, the only reason I asked those is because I was heavily involved. Like I did top 100 last season in Aether just so I could see if I could do it. Got diamond rank or whatever, and it was fun. I enjoyed it. So I was thinking about this. I'm still quoting 2,000 PvP players. I think there's at least 2,000 active PvP players that are serious about PvP.
I still think you're being very liberal about that.
Okay. Fair enough. But out of the 10 questions, I dedicated 3 questions to PvP. And each one came back with an answer that was, I don't want to say horrible. I want to say lackluster.
Non-answer?
Yeah, almost non-answer. So if I go in here and I look, and this, I'm summing it all in one section, so we don't have to go through it at every single point, by the way, Happy. Good. So when you look, its face is great. I love it. The stuff that he said was pretty much stuff that they've already said. The push-pull That was already something they said they were going to come back on. Capture the flag. I think that was something that casual players of PvP, people who just do the battleground type stuff, would enjoy. But he's working on the next thing of rival wings, which we decided no one likes, right? Apparently. And then we have the other statement here that said that he was preparing for tournaments, and he said some very general things about it that are obvious, like, oh, we have to set up regulations. That's a given, right? And so I think that was really disappointing on my end, was that PvP is such an oversight, but it does have a pretty dedicated hardcore community that backs it. Whether you believe it or not, there's a lot of people.
Oh, no, I believe it.
Yeah. All they do, this is all they do. They log into the game to play PvP. And I can go more into that outside the interview if you wanted to, but I figured I could stop here if you want.
Tell me. I don't feel like you finished all your thoughts.
Okay. Can we talk about why people like PvP?
If it'll help you make your point.
Okay. So there are people in the game who they raid and they do PvE. PvE is pretty predictable, wouldn't you say?
Very. Almost like it has a pattern.
Yeah, almost a complete pattern that you just have to memorize and do with other people. And so people get attached to their characters while they're raiding and they're doing everything else. And eventually they're like, I want to play my character, but I want to beat the hell out of somebody. I just want to beat them up. And this is the only outlet they have. And it's still being swept under the rug by the company, which comes back to the content creators who just don't care. And then the next step, which is the players who think, oh, it's, PvP's not serious. It sucks. So I was just disappointed. That's all I'm saying, is I was disappointed in that whole section, because it does matter to, I would say, a good chunk of the game. And if it was good, it would matter to a lot more people in the game.
Mattered. I can think of a time where it mattered a lot.
When did it matter a lot?
Sealrock.
They
just didn't have Ranked Feast yet, was the only thing. And then Ranked Feast came out, and I remember a bunch of people being excited about Ranked Feast.
The thing is, when I talk about PvP, I never think Sealrock or Shatter, Slyh, or anything else that you can't put in a real serious competitive mode, which Feast is. So it's kind of weird when I think about that mentality, because I keep forgetting about all these other things out there. The casual PvPers is what I call them.
The majority.
The majority of the people.
AKA the majority of PvPers.
Yeah. So, but that was it. I was like, why do I even ask PvP questions if they're not going to get a serious answer back?
I mean, I think those were serious answers. They were just seriously all they had.
Which is depressing if that's the case too.
I think you've learned the lesson is that you just need to ask 10 PvP questions next time.
I did. In my last interview, I asked 7 PvP questions, and every single response was something that there's nothing I can answer. Yeah, politician to not positive. Just it was like there is a question about, hey, look, there's a lot of people who are worried about the moderation of PvP. People are out there cheating. People are doing other things, and they feel like they're not getting the assistance they need when someone's caught speed hacking or something of that nature. And the response was, people overstate their complaints because people get heated in PvP. So overall, it's impossible for me to present this back to the PvP community if there's nothing really to give back to them.
I will say that, and I will say that with one speed hacker alone, the number of complaints makes it seem like there's a shit ton of speed hackers, because that one speed hacker can interact with 50, 100, 200 people.
Mm-hmm.
That much I will say. So it's not so much that they're overstated, it's that one person's interaction can basically mean hundreds of complaints. The problem is that those hundreds of complaints rarely result in anything.
That's true.
Okay, Frosty, I see your love for PvP, so I'm going to ask you a pretty broad, blanket fucking question.
Mm-hmm.
What would you do for the state of PvP right now if you wanted to improve?
We don't have enough time in this show. I don't think we do.
Okay, give us 2 things.
Two things.
One is 100% a member of the community team in some way, a member of anyone in Square Enix that officially came out. I'm your PvP guy. This is all I do. My job is your PvP representative. And he had to handle every single complaint, every single topic, everything about PvP. And that was his job, was to make PvP present it to the community properly.
Okay.
That's one. Two is to take a very strong look at how they can control their own game in a way that people can't abuse it with certain systems like win trading or anything else that's just like super simple. I mean, you can't really control ACT, although that is, when we talk about that, I don't know how. Should I talk about ACT or am I going too much into?
I don't know what the development will be, so I couldn't say.
Yeah. So that being, there are ways out there to just abuse PvP, and it's not that you don't have anyone that's going out there trying to moderate it. Because I know there are players maybe in the Japanese player base. See, I did it again. That are a little bit more honorable than the people in EU and NA, and so there's not much of an issue over there. But it's a huge issue over here. So that's the two things. They need better moderation overall and a representative.
And again, that's just only two things. Like, you have a whole list, but we don't have
time to show the rest of the day.
Show.
The rest of the day. I could sit here and talk to you about it.
Sly, I'm going to ask you then, because he can't name any more things. Is there anything you want changed in PvP?
Yes. Put fucking Decay in the feast, please. Dear Lord. Yeah? Stop people from sitting and shitting on their fucking rank. Like, put Decay in the feast.
Sitting and shitting. I like that. Sitting and shitting on there. I like that. You should copyright that real quick.
It's basically shit or get off the pot. Two. I know I talk about it all the time. We've had conversations about it.
If it's about Shatter, Sly, let it go now.
I'm not. First of all, fuck you. Shatter's good. Secondly,
why is it good? I don't understand this.
It's fun. Oh my god.
All right.
Can we just agree fun is subjective and move on?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not like that. I can go on for about an hour on that, but goddamn.
Okay.
Get rid of the free chicken.
Oh, EXP.
Actually, if you I noticed this yesterday when I was doing PvP and I was doing Feast. I don't get any XP or tomes for losing.
You get a lot less. You're not supposed to get none though.
I looked at it. I didn't see anything. I was on my white mage. I got no extra EXP. I don't know if maybe that was some recent change or maybe I just saw it incorrectly. But I didn't get any tomes or anything. And I was like, well, that sucks. I was just going to cap out doing this, but I guess I can't do that anymore.
Wouldn't it be funny if you didn't even realize you were already capped? You said yesterday?
I got 190 tomes yesterday. I wasn't capped. I've been pretty bad.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah.
Rank decay is... I want to be able to talk again, personally.
Go ahead. Yeah.
No, I mean in the feast.
In the feast.
I want
to be able to use our words. Yes.
I battled that too, and there's no way that's getting him back.
Oh, no, I know 100%.
Yeah, we know that.
I just want my words back.
I'm over it as long as I have more ways to communicate.
There's no way for me to communicate. There's no way for me to communicate, hey guys, they're going to see I'm Mr. Happy and kill me. Please protect me.
That's just known.
No, you'd think it would be, but it's not.
You'd be surprised.
I'd be like, okay, guys, I really need.
You have to have a different style of play.
Just follow me. All I can say is listen to the plan or whatever the fuck the auto translate is, and mark myself as 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Well, I never understood that either. Even though people do lewd stuff with auto translate, why not just leave that in there just for the hell of it?
I just want my words back. I know I won't get them, but I want my words back. I lost a lot of enjoyment out of the feast when I lost my words.
Yeah, I don't know who gained from that, to be honest with you.
The people who are not PvPing.
Yeah. It has to be. The people who are going in for the reward and stopping. Yeah, and so we're
Nice
gonna have to
job.
build off of it without it. Yeah.
I hated that. Nice job. Nice job. Nice job. And
Nice
whenever
job, nice job.
somebody on your team fucks up, nice job. Nice job. Nice job.
Doesn't make any sense to JP players talk.
This is real. This sarcasm is incredibly obvious at times, even in text. It seems.
Oh, jeez. But yeah, okay. We don't have to go into, but that's what stood out. And I was kind of disappointed with that. I mean, overall, there's some really interesting things in the interview that he gave back, but it just wasn't about PvP.
That's why I just pretended that section didn't exist.
Yeah.
I pulled a burn on that one, except I didn't have a cigarette. All I had was meat.
Yeah. Pulled a burn
Shitting grin. And I pray to God somebody get that or somebody caught it, screen capped it, please. Please.
If not, I'm very practiced at it. I can do it again.
Do it again. Yeah, that's some shit in your mouth.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Okay. But I mean, besides that, there was they're gonna do some other competitive stuff. I guess I wasn't completely right about the PvP section because there was one extra question that wasn't in the PvP section that was PvP. They were talking about having players battle underwater, and they're going to battle with like balls or something. And
you know what? I know what you're going for. I'm going to tell you right now, the way you're describing it's not coming out the way you expected.
Yeah? Well, I'm hoping it is.
Battling underwater with balls.
With balls.
Yeah.
I don't even need a shit-eating grin for that one. But you'll have one anyway.
Okay, thank you so much. The only thing that stood out in that whole question was the sad face and do you have any good ideas?
I've got one.
I know. We all know.
One really good idea. Here's what you do. You take it, right? And you highlight all the code for it. And you press either the backspace or delete key on the keyboard.
Okay.
It's an elaborate guide on deleting.
Are you going to make a video on it?
I feel like it would do pretty well.
Just translate it to Japanese.
I don't know how. Yeah, so they understand the feedback.
Yeah.
So nobody else has to do it. I'll do it myself. There.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is that this interview got translated to a Japanese site as well afterwards.
Yes.
There's some highlighted comments in there. The one that stood out the most to me was when they were giving introductions to everybody there. Mine was Frosty Mogborn shaved beard.
That's that Google translated or is that?
That's what, Google is in the browser.
That is fantastic.
Yeah. It was pretty good. It was neat to see that because now Yoshida got his questions. And then they were translated to him. He gave his answers, which it got translated back to me. Then we went over it, and all that got translated back to Japanese. And I wonder.
And then you Google translated it back to English. That's a lot of steps.
Yeah, I wonder where that game of telephone ended and how it looked.
It looked like Mogborn shaved beard is apparently how it ended.
Yeah.
You shouldn't name a character.
Mogborn.
Mogborn shaved beard.
Okay, let's do it.
It'll be like not Deliverance DiGiorno for warrior name.
Did you do that?
No, but I saw Bill Nye Defiance guy. That was my favorite one. As a
I've
warrior.
seen that one.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
That's pretty solid. I don't know why Sly enjoyed it because it was a pun.
But no, not Deliverance to Giorno. I haven't heard that.
Okay.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I think they had to leave a letter out of Deliverance because I don't think not Deliverance fits. I think it's like one letter too long, but pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah.
So that's to give everyone watch. That's a better idea of MogTalk after all that.
Yeah. That's MogTalk summed up right there.
That's MogTalk summed up right there.
Okay.
Yeah. And just you'll get to do the plug again later, but since we're gonna jump up to the Dengeki interview, why don't you say when do you usually do MogTalk?
Oh, do you want me? Okay.
Just because you'll get to do spiel at the end of the show too. Just
sure.
real quick, since we spent all that time talking about what the show is, talking about the latest topic. I figure you might as well end that with another mini spiel on when it is, and then you can do your spiel at the end of the show too.
If you'd like to hear me awkwardly go over multiple topics, I usually do it on Saturday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. And that's usually, it's not always there. It depends completely on my schedule. It sounds like we're going to have a PvP episode coming up this weekend, though, so we'll see what that turns into.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's all right. You'll be okay.
I'll be okay. We'll figure it out.
I can't think of a better way to describe it, but you'll be okay. All right. So the other thing that happened this week, the one thing I knew for certain we were doing on this show this week, since we weren't doing MogTalk, was that last week we brought up towards the end of the show a Yoshi P Walks segment where he went onto the servers, and he went onto a server and just started answering questions of the people while he was playing games. He also did an interview alongside the level 5 CEO. For those who don't know who the level 5 CEO is, level 5 is the company that makes Yokai Watch. So this is always everyone, every time they see that name, they go, uh-oh. And don't worry, you have nothing to be afraid of. Sly, you have nothing to be afraid of.
You sure?
I'm 100. I've read through this, Sly. Yes, I'm 100% certain.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Now there are some fluff topics in there, but there are some things that we want to hit on real quick. Really wanted Frosty on the show this week because I knew it was going to be a short one if we only had to talk about Dengeki Interview. Because
I'm only here to give you a slight time extension.
Yes, 40 minutes is a pretty good time extension. About 37 minutes.
I'll give you some more later. Don't worry.
No, I think we're good. You'll get a little bit later, but anyway. There's a few comments he made here. Made a bit of a splash when it hit Reddit. Again, translated by Carrier of Light. They do a lot of translations over on Reddit of interviews and such. So thank you to them. And the very first comment's one of the fluff ones. They say that whenever him and the level 5 CEO Hino hang out, they talk about video games. That's it. That's nerd culture right there. I'm down for that.
What kind of video game talk do you think they're actually having?
Well, no, they said the topics that come up a lot is what will be interesting in terms of new games. How do you deal with that? Obviously, as developers, producers, all those things, people who work in the industry. And what was the reason behind implementing this in however way? Which sounds like Hino going, "What the fuck were you thinking with Eureka?" That's what it sounds like to me.
I doubt that's how that conversation.
I mean, I don't speak Japanese, so that's just the English version. Okay. Yeah, that's the English version. Okay. But after that, it gets into talking a little bit more about Eureka. And Eureka is, of course, the number one topic right now. Weeks later, it's still it's still played. Popular is a word I hesitate to use.
It's a word you could use.
Popular doesn't necessarily have to be defined by people liking it. It could be defined by frequency in which people consume said entertainment, regardless of value.
True. Yeah, very true.
You could.
So, Frosty.
Yeah.
A few people haven't heard your opinion about Eureka. We know it's been divisive and everything. First, what did you feel about it the day it came out, and what do you feel about it right now?
So the day it came out, I didn't play it. Okay. I heard responses, and there were a lot of very angry people. And so I wanted to discuss it a little bit. So I have talked about it some, but it turned into a scenario where most people changed their mind within 2 to 3 days from hating it to loving it. And only because, and the reason why is because it was relaxing. It was mindless. Like, if I'm going to do something mindless in this game, I might as well do this instead of the other mindless stuff that I normally do. All right.
They like the sandwich. So
when it comes down to content like Eureka, what did we expect? Like, what were you thinking? You're like, they're going to make this groundbreaking content that's going to it would take years to develop, but they're going to make it, and it's going to be amazing. We're going to go in there. It's going to be open world, and it's going to be absolutely I've never want to do anything else in the game. Were you expecting that, or what was where are we at?
Frosty, the thing is, you're asking the same goddamn question I was asking to everybody else.
Oh, okay.
What the fuck were y'all expecting? Like, I was content. I was really content. Like, it's a grind. It's a relic grind, and then you have armor attached to it, so it's even longer of a grind. No, really, not really by that much after you get to level 20, you know, basically open up everything. But still, like, the fuck were you expecting?
I'm sure it didn't turn out the way they planned for it to turn out, though. I mean, they weren't thinking
by all means.
but we're pretty good at breaking stuff.
Yeah.
Sly, I'd like to bring up something that was brought up to me over the past week. And it's that our analogy last week about the sandwich wasn't entirely accurate.
How so?
Okay, so the thing is, if the idea of the sandwich is that if you don't like the sandwich, that
don't eat it.
Don't eat the sandwich. But there's one other option. What about just getting a different sandwich, right? What's the
different sandwich in this scenario?
But so the different sandwich would be other pieces of content, right? So Savage would be a sandwich, treasure maps would be a sandwich. So the idea is if you don't like one sandwich, you get a different sandwich, right?
But see, that's not the issue. The issue is that people are still eating the fucking sandwich.
But that's where I'm getting with this, because then they say they can't just get another sandwich because this sandwich has what they want. It's just not made well enough. Like, they want the relic, so they got to eat this damn sandwich.
So are we saying that we have, like, our mom in the kitchen, right? And she's just
no, I'm an adult. I made my own sandwich, but you can go with that if you want.
Yeah, and she's
let's go with that. Let's run with that.
And
let's call Square Enix mom.
Yeah, Square Enix's mom. She's bringing us a sandwich right now, and we're eating it, and we're like, "Mom, I don't like it with crust on it. What the fuck?" And you just like throw it down, and you make her go get you another sandwich or something. Is that who we are in this scenario?
Yeah, we're a terrible ass fucking kid. Okay. Jesus, we're horrible kids.
And we pay our mom $15.
You don't pay your mom
$15 a month.
Now the analogy's getting worse.
$15 a month.
I'm loving this analogy.
She makes sandwiches because we pay her $15 a month to make sandwiches for her.
I pay her with my love.
Mom, I paid you 15 fucking bucks. I want my sandwich to be fucking good.
Anyway,
this is a better analogy. It's the analogy.
This is in no way a better analogy.
Yes, it is.
I'm pretty partial.
This is making me greatly question the kind of household.
I knew we brought Frosty on for a reason. Thank you.
Anyway.
Okay. All right.
So,
go on with the sandwich talk.
So the thing that was disputed was that you can't just get another sandwich because only this sandwich has the relic. So I now have another counter argument to that, Sly. It is true. No matter what, if you want the relic, you gotta eat this sandwich.
All right.
But maybe right now the sandwich just doesn't have the right ingredients. But maybe if you wait and make the sandwich later, you'll be able to get it down. In other words, after they nerf all the shit when Onimos is done and they move up to the next Eureka. So you don't have to,
Mike, I'm hungry now.
To be fair, that is also accurate because they want to play the game and content now. So yeah, it all makes now. It's all coming out. Minus paying your mom $15 to make a sandwich. I think we've got the rest of this analogy down. So you make a new sandwich. You just use the same ingredients. You know, buy new ones of the same ingredients, and then just make it later. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
see, I didn't even come up with a sandwich analogy. Mike came up with that shit. I just.
He must have something about sandwiches being made for him.
Yeah.
I make my own sandwiches.
Oh, he's a big boy. He doesn't need mom to make.
The point is, we didn't.
He doesn't have to pay mom.
We didn't make Eureka. We didn't make the sandwich, right?
Yeah, we paid mom to do it. That's why we pay mom a sub.
My sub. I'm a legacy player. My sub's only $9. You guys are overpaying. But anyway.
I don't think I'm overpaying. I'm still having a good time. I pay $53 a month for Adobe products right now, so I think I'm doing okay with Final Fantasy.
Is Adobe also your mom in this case?
Yeah, I'm really pissed off.
No, Adobe's the aunt right now. The aunt.
Adobe. Hi, Aunt Adobe.
Aunt Adobe.
Yeah. Aunt Adobe overcharges the shit out of my sandwiches.
Thank you, Mike, for coming up. Analogy. I love it.
Yeah. I'm glad the sandwich is as unfurled as such.
Yeah.
So anyway,
you're welcome.
I wanted to bring that up because we were trying to talk about the interview, and then you asked Frosty what he thought about Eureka, and then I had to bring up the sandwich point before I forgot. Just to backtrack and get us to
thank you.
To just un-Jim Carrey this situation, get us back on track.
Okay.
Falling off the rails, I call it.
Am I Jim Carrey?
I call it a Jim Carrey.
Oh,
you can be a Jim Carrey, but you know.
Okay.
That's
Dude's cool.
All right. So the first thing he had to say about both Diadem and Eureka, which is a great two things to put in the same sentence, is that they are like an experimental chamber involving trial and error. Now, how do we interpret that? Because I don't know if he means we were beta testing this shit, or if it's like they just don't tell you anything if they throw you in there and say good luck. Like, I think, not knowing the notorious monster spawns and conditions and shit like that.
Frosty, go ahead.
I think that's a broad statement, so it could go in both directions there. But he said he wants readers to interpret this in a positive way. But content like Eureka is experimental chamber for trial and error. So that's either he's throwing stuff in there. This is 100% what I really believe it is that he's making content in a safe area, a container, that it doesn't really matter if it's messed up in, because it's just that extra content over there that he can take going into future content that does matter for raids and everything else. And so we've seen them kind of do this in various different ways. I think maybe with the extra actions you have with some bosses, they started experimenting with that and then started applying it to the raid bosses, right? Just small little things that you'll see that leak out from some of the other content. So,
Slyh?
I really think it hits the nail on the head. When it comes to content like this, yeah, we are the trial and error. We are the ones testing it out. We are the ones who, get on Reddit and say shit about it. At its basis form.
We eat the sandwich.
We eat.
We look at it and we're like, that sandwich is coming over there. And Mom's bringing it over, and we're like, man, I already don't like that.
See, the thing is, we're excited about it though. Before we are really excited.
We smell it. Yeah, like it smells weird.
And then you remember, Mom can't cook.
Yeah. For some reason, Mom just was not on her A game today. But yeah, like it's pretty simple. We like you take things like this. You take I'll even give you a worse sandwich, Lords of Verminion. You take things like that, it's all trial and error. And we're the ones who say yay or nay. And right now with Eureka, it's not even yay or nay, it's just meh.
It's the cross in between.
Yeah, it's a cross in between. It's just it's leaning more towards yay. So we're of course gonna see more of it. We're gonna see, new additions to Eureka, but right now it's just meh.
Speaking of new things to add to Eureka, as we learned in the Yoshi Walk, and we briefly spoke about last week, the next Eureka update will be in 4.3x. Now, some people are beginning to expect this will be the next Eureka zone, especially if you've played through the current Eureka and done all the way through the level 17 quest and are aware of the events that have taken place so far. On top of the fact you can see other sections that have vastly different weather similar to Animos, but with different elements in the distance. A volcano, a thunderstorm, and an icy ridge castle. All the same. So the next Eureka, which remains unknown, will have new gameplay elements, or as I should more accurately say, reintroducing elements that are in the rest of Final Fantasy XIV, such as the ability to hunt specific monsters, orders to hunt specific monsters, like the hunt board, and a different method to improve the basic gameplay and leveling process. As a reminder, maximum level won't be 20 in the next zone.
Right.
So how do we feel about them sprinkling in other aspects of 14 that already existed? It's something that I advocated for, but Frosty, how do you feel about the idea of basically Eureka stripping away these things and now almost introducing things that at this point have become an expected quality of life in 14?
I think that's perfectly fine. I can't really complain as long as the content's enjoyable when I actually do it. And so I think the thing that stands out the most in that whole statement is actually a little bit different than that topic. It was more of just the fact that they're doing it patch by patch. Like, content that they introduce every single patch? Like, is it going to be a new dungeon? Like, basically in the realm of, hey, we do dungeons every single patch. Now we're going to do a new Eureka every single patch, or
updates to it at least. Even if we don't see a new zone necessarily. But this is the next Eureka and a zone. They keep leaving it unnamed deliberately, which is leading towards the idea that 4.35 or 4.3x would be maybe Pyros or Hydros or, Kuranos or one of the other zones. And then 4.45 and then 4.55. And that's where people are starting to gather their expectations. Do you really think they have 4 different zones planned over the next year? It would be really impressive. It would be really impressive to me. I think about the size of Eureka, and then I think about dungeons and how much goes into each, and I think about a dungeon. Dungeons have a shit ton of visuals that have to go into every single dungeon, and I don't think it's unfeasible that cutting back on 3 dungeons plus probably a few other like little things probably could lead to enough development time to create 4 entire areas.
I don't think so, just because of Ultimate taking up that resource.
It's true. That's true.
There's lots of other things that they've invested their time in.
Well, they don't need to design as many unique assets for Ultimate. Like, obviously, Golden, Bahamut, and 7th Umbral Era would be 2 of them. But otherwise, they're mostly just reused assets, and it comes down to a battle team to take care of the rest of that.
And the battle team has to put a lot of work into it.
Yes, they absolutely do. Yeah. And they absolutely do not with Eureka. I can tell you that after playing it a few times.
Just get down to the battle team side. They're like, guys, you're busy with Ultimate. We'll take care of this. We'll figure it out. And do it together.
Okay. Sly, I thought you were going to say something because you breathed. Your breathing makes me think you're going to say things. Okay.
Sly, what's up with your camera a little bit? I don't know if it's just me seeing.
No, he's got some light coming in. Or he's got a light over on the side. Yeah.
It looks like a smudge.
No, it looks just bright to me. No, on the other side. No.
No. Other side.
Your left.
It's like pale. It's like light, like a fog almost. I'm sorry. I told you I get distracted easily, guys. I don't.
Yeah, it was a light. That's what I said. It was a light.
It was just that one light. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
All right. The next comment after that is more about level 5 and them doing an online game for the 20th anniversary of level 5. By the way, Ni no Kuni 2 was pretty good. Made by level 5. So just thought I would remind people of that. And then we go back to the trial and error comment, because they said they're trying out new things with the Forbidden Land of Eureka. And this is bolded. Even outside of Eureka, they have other plans for trial and error type of new content that is already under development, which they still cannot talk about. They will be announcing it somewhere in the future.
Blitzball.
What the fuck? How is that trial and error?
4-man dungeons, trial and error. No bosses. There you go.
How? Okay, fuck you, Frost. Sly, what do you? What do you think? How do you interpret this? Because you gave me what you thought your interpretation was of trial and error content before.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to go along that same line of thinking, where would that take you to other types of content that are like Diadem and Eureka, but in other places in Eorzea? Doesn't have to be open world. It's places that are not Eureka. Hold on, I like this comment. Blitzball's not trial and error. It's just error. But anyway. I like it.
Of course.
And I respect you for it.
Sorry. Oh, God.
Wow.
I don't know. Something along the lines of maybe, not really. I would say POTD. I would say anything like treasure hunting, like Quapless, canals, anything like that. But yeah, something along the lines of POTD.
So you think that this could be more of a reference to changes that are being made to the formula of the next deep dungeon?
I wouldn't say changes. That like
new updates, new things that we will see in the next deep dungeon.
No, not even that. Just saying something completely new other than POTD.
Oh, you think this is this? You think this is something that's not even on the radar yet?
Yeah, I think this is something completely new. We don't know about it. Something along those lines, but yeah, something new. But again,
I would like to remind you that in the Yoshi P walks, he said that they were hiding something, and that when we figured it out, we'd be like, "How were you hiding this the whole time?"
Is he talking about PvP Battle Royale?
I mean, I'm telling you, the next Royal Wings is gonna. I'm telling you, the next Royal Wings is gonna drop 100 players randomly in the map, and it's gonna fucking happen. That's gonna be the next Rival Wings.
Really about to be a BR game? Oh my god!
I'm telling you, the next ride. Listen, they saw MOBAs were popular. Now they're gonna see Battle Royales are popular, and the next Rival Wings is gonna drop 100 players fucking across a map. You're gonna jump out of a Sid's airship. You're gonna fucking parachute down. You're gonna land in some fucking place, and then you're gonna die because the healers are still better than you. or everyone has to play machinist. Fuck it. I don't know how literal we want to get about this whole Battle Royale thing.
Yeah, I could be. I mean, they were doing experimental quests. If you guys remember doing a quest in Stormblood where you're sitting there and you're sniping sheep with tranquilizers, but you know.
That's.
I forgot about that. Holy crap!
How'd you forget about that? I love that.
Wow. I think, I don't know, the question itself is very hard to answer just because every single piece of content that's not what we're used to, like raiding and like just regular dungeons and just their standard story, is trial and error. Like they do so much trial and error. There's not a lot of stuff that they do that's proven except for, I mean, Ultimate, I guess.
Except for most things.
I don't know. It's just weird. It's just everything. They release this stuff all the time. They love doing it. Lords of Dominion, Triple Triad, and they learn from the tournaments of Triple Triad, hopefully, going forward with their next piece of content. And
did they?
I think I heard it was fixed. I don't know. I've never went back to it. I was burned so hard on it that I just threw it out the window. But it's a hard answer. It's a hard question to answer.
I wonder when in the future, because November's starting to look pretty good.
November. Yeah.
I've been thinking a little bit ahead about future live letters. I just realized we'll definitely get patch 4.5's part 1 live letter at the FanFest. Just thinking about timing.
That missed, yeah.
Well, I was looking at timing, and so we're probably assuming May 15th or May 22nd for the patch, because that's about 16, 17 week mark. Then you would expect that, so then you go May, you go June, July, August, and you count another couple weeks. You have second or third week of September becomes 4.4, and then November is 2 months after that. So it falls right where we'd be getting a live letter. I'm just thinking in advance because that's what I like to do. And
is it?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't, not with State of the Realm. I figured that shit out. I figured that shit, what time is it? It's 5 o'clock now. I figured this out an hour and a half ago. So,
that's good. That's
good.
Solid, dude.
Solid.
Like ice.
Yeah. There you go. I'm glad it's come back full circle.
Yeah, it's come back.
You're welcome, Slyh. You're welcome. Okay. But that's more along the lines of where we're going. More trial and error content, less of the same. Do we think they give up anything else in the expansion that's become what we consider standard now to try and develop more trial and error stuff? Do we give up another dungeon a patch and it becomes one to every patch no matter what? Do we give up something else that we already have? Maybe. What do they give up? If you
what do we give up?
Dead content.
So
Lords of Dominion. Shut up. Shut up with that, man. There's certain PvP that we can get rid of, which is Lords of Dominion and Triple Triad.
Yes, and Shadow.
I mean, stop developing it. We don't need more. I guess Triple Triad's kind of a standard. Like, you can get rid of that, but what?
Who PvPs with Triple Triad anymore, really?
Nobody. I can't even think of it.
Give up normal mode rates.
Yeah, that too.
That's not happening.
Wow.
That's not happening. No way.
Yeah. I mean, I would be okay with them giving up content that they understood no one does. It has very little activity. Just say, we're burning this content. It's over.
Delete the item.
Well, they've actually but that doesn't take up any development time. They're not actively developing Diadem right now. They're just it's just a waste of space.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Delete it. It's just a waste of fucking space.
Yeah. Gathering, get rid of it.
Hey. Now you're just fucking up with the market. Like,
oh god.
I gotta say, every time you say things nobody does anymore, you really have to consider that how easily I come back with the PvP thing.
Oh, come on. There's not a community of people who make up Discord and websites and everything for well, I guess there is. There is.
Yeah. About that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That didn't go.
No, almost.
Well, with that, I've realized the comment that I thought was from the other interview is actually the next comment. Future plans include a powered-up version of current content and also brand new content where players will say, "What? You're hiding something like this?" The whole time it was the next comment. I didn't think it was in this one. So let's break that down into 2 things. First, we have a powered-up version of current content. I'd like to remind you this is translated from Japanese to English, so it's in quotes because that can be interpreted many different ways depending on the actual language that was used. Powered up version could literally mean if they had normal modes of shit and then they made extreme version. It could also literally mean something as simple as a new treasure dungeon because it's a higher level version of the previous ones.
Not necessarily. It's powered up.
But I'm saying the general translation for powered up doesn't have to literally mean it's harder in this case. It's something you can interpret it as such, but it's kind of uninterpretable in a sense. So you can only understand that it's something that already exists and it'll be new. It'll be a newer version of it, pretty much. So what current piece of content do you think they would power up?
I can tell you what I wish they would. I can't tell you what they would.
How do you even power up PvP? I don't get it. How do you even
power it up? You fix it.
That's not powering up. That's fixing.
It gets more powerful. You fix it, it works better. It's more powerful. Right? No?
No.
When I talked to him about the dungeons part, he seemed kind of the total line on that a little bit. But it does seem like it could be related to it, like a powered up version of just 4-man content in some way. I just don't know what way that will be, but that is coming. I don't know if that's what it's a reference to, but
okay. Sly, what do you think? Powered up version of current content. Take it however you will. If it's not, as long as it's not PvP.
Dungeons, like that is pretty much the first place I was going. I want to say I remember a video a few years back. It was, I think, from the French live stream. And it just might have been mistranslated or just a translation error. I don't know. Something called Brutal.
Brutal was what eventually became Savage. Basically, okay. That was when they were going into second coil, and they said the new difficulty, the current contemplated name was Brutal. Not that they couldn't still Brutal something else, but honestly,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Honestly, looking at the whole naming conventions, I think we had this discussion on Saturday, Frosty, where Hard, Savage, Extreme are all like unworthy titles of their equivalents outside of Second Coil Savage, which was and Gordius, and I guess to some degree like 08 and stuff like that.
Right.
I like some of the suggestions we have here in the chat. A powered up Hall of the Novice. Hall of the Intermediate. We've been asking for it.
The Intermediate. That's what.
That's powered up. It's stronger.
You're right.
Harder versions of dungeons, which has been some. When I asked him about Mythic Plus specifically, he said he loved the concept of giving replayability to dungeons for players looking for a higher challenge. I just don't think they necessarily come up with a system in which they could do that in the near future. I have faith that 4-man dungeons will be getting some degree of love at some point, but not like an ultimate dungeon. Just love to challenge you in dungeons that already exist. Powered up squadrons.
Hiding this whole time.
Powered up 24-mans?
Now keep in mind, powered up version of current content is separated from the second comment that you're talking about. Brand new content. Where players, it's something so surprising, will be like, what?
You know what it is? It's shooting sheep with tranquilizers, man.
That was pretty fucking surprising. I was like, what? That wasn't what? That was what? What is
Final
this?
Fantasy, the FPS.
That's what the F in Final Fantasy stands for. Both of them.
Mm-hmm. First-person shooter.
First-person shooter. FFPS. There you go. Yes.
Copyright it. Get the money for it.
Some people think, and this was brought up here, so I'll bring it up now, is that's just saying that a piece of content is hiding in plain sight, aka the Jenga Tower. Which
It's not hiding, though. I mean, it's...
But when nobody knows if it will actually be anything, it's only a speculative thing that has anything to do with anything.
And we're going to respond like, what?
I'll be like, fuck yeah!
I can't even think of anything that would be so goofy that I would respond in.
Maybe it was Magni Fantasy. They were keeping that from us the whole time.
They did that with Lords of Verminion, so you never know.
Yeah, it's fucking true. Lords of Verminion did start as an April Fool's joke. They made a reality.
Yeah.
If you didn't know that, it's true.
What if they put arcade games and they, the toy box, they just expanded upon it?
We were talking about that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because we were talking about it because Yoshida said that they might consider selling the old school Final Fantasy games and just putting them in the toy box, pretty much.
But you would have to buy them first.
But we'd expect. They didn't explicitly say that. We just kind of expect that would kind of be the caveat.
But is that powered up, I guess?
No, but it's brand new.
Yeah.
It's brand new while not being new at all.
Yeah,
in fact, it's 30 years old.
Maybe we'll get wives in the game. NPC wives.
I mean, everyone already has waifus. And that was also an April Fool's joke from, I believe, 2 years ago. The thing you just listed. I like how everything we've come up with has been an April Fool's joke at some point.
Some of the content in the game could easily be an April Fool's joke at some point.
Yeah, well, what month did PvP come out initially? Was it in April?
See, I knew he was going there. I knew he was going there. Oh my god.
What was it? No, it couldn't have been because that was patch 2. That was patch 2.1, and 2.1 was in January.
Mr. Happy's the new most hated person in the PvP.
Hey, I want it to be good, but in your own words, it just isn't.
They just keep going backwards. I mean, you can go in there and you can enjoy it. I can still enjoy it, but it doesn't seem like they're improving. So, but we're done with PvP.
Yeah, you're right. We are.
Yeah. We won't hit it anymore.
You couldn't be.
To point out, you're going to be the figurehead of all hatred for the
Hey, Stefan comes by my stream all the time, and all he does is tell me how shit it is right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm like, how is it right now? He goes, this is the worst it's ever been. I'm like, all right, I don't feel bad about saying I don't like it right now, then.
Nah, I wouldn't say it's the worst, but okay. We're good.
You're right. 2.1 was the actual worst the PvP has ever been. People don't remember when our only mode was the fucking whatever, the fold.
Yeah.
If it's called the fold, it's a joke. But anyway.
Yeah, it some people liked it. No. I don't like. I like the mode where you can. The idea, I die and then I can come back. Oh, I messed up. Well, the game's not over. I still have a chance to come back. But that's just my own personal preference. So.
Right.
I mess up a lot, dude.
Hey, you still got diamond though.
Still got diamond.
Yeah. And I think that's really all you can take away because the next few questions are the level 5 CEO just being like, "Yo, can you make another MMO?" And can you make a Final Fantasy 14 too? Because I just built a new PC and I'd really like a new Final Fantasy 14. But I like 14, but I want a fresh playground where everything is new. And they just said, "You're crazy." A, they'd need to clone me, and B, why the fuck would we make another new MMO?
I mean, the life cycle of this has to be like 15 years, right?
10 years was the planned minimum. So there's at least that. We're getting to the 5-year mark in August of this year, so we're almost halfway there.
Yeah. Then we'll get Final Fantasy. What is it?
17.
17.
Everyone just assumes the next one will be another 3 later, and that 16 will be something else. Whenever the fuck we see that. Oh man, it's all right. I'll have Final Fantasy 11 on mobile soon, and I've got Opera Omnia, so I'm doing all right.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't need any more MMOs for a while. And that's it for the Dengeki interview. It'll probably be pretty sparse news-wise until the live letter on April 14th. I have high hopes for 4.3. I haven't been really disappointed with Stormblood in any way yet. It's just everything's been so quality of life, it's almost too fast. And I think I had that discussion with you. Like, everything is improved from what it was before outside of PvP. But it's just that you go through it at
PvP
such a
has improved in a way.
Then stop saying it's the fucking worst it's ever been.
It's in the worst state.
You've been saying that, like,
yeah. So PvP is great in many ways, but there's so many things that need to be fixed to like make it function properly. If that makes sense.
So you're saying it doesn't work.
There's the way that you would want PvP in an MMO doesn't work because there are things that again, I'm not trying to this is the opposite of what I do. I want to encourage people to go out and play it.
Oh, I do too. When they've taken care of the things that they've taken care of. I'm not going to tell people to go out there and suffer until they fix these things you keep telling me about.
You're going to make me that crazy person, like the Ancient Aliens guy, but instead I'm the PvP guy. And you bring me on to just go like, but it's the PvP and Feast and the tokens and...
I don't know how this became about Bill Cosby, but...
Yeah, why did you sound like Bill Cosby? Like, what the hell?
I guess I kind of did, didn't I? Wasn't what I was going for. I was trying
to
all
I'm saying is I won't encourage people to go do it until the things you say are wrong with it are not wrong with it anymore. Then I will actively encourage it.
Okay. The two things I say to fix it, if they can fix those two things, then I think they'll be golden, to be honest with you.
There you go. Yeah.
There we go.
So outside of that,
yeah.
I think Stormblood has improved most everything, but it's made it that you go through it so fast that's it. Like, I think in general the fights are more entertaining outside of Byaku's air phase. But
I thought that was interesting.
What?
That was trial and error. That was trial and error, was it not?
That was
Not
trial
really. I mean,
and success, and then please don't make me fucking do it ever again. Don't put shit like that in extreme fights unless you're gonna make it extreme. It was easier than it was in normal mode. The normal mode version of that mechanic is harder than the extreme version.
I don't know. I feel like if they made that difficult, people would complain because it's not what they wanted out of the MMO and their challenges. Like that was.
Then get the fuck rid of it. Then don't do it ever again, or don't do it in extreme ever again.
Slyh, do you feel the same way about that mechanic?
Yeah, it was
okay.
It was just filler to me, honestly. Like
you know how we made it fun? Everyone auto follows one guy, and you see how many people that one guy can keep alive. That's how you make it fun. And the good news is there's always someone who loses. Mostly the person, the last person to slash follow.
Is that going to be an ACT challenge?
Yes. You mean an FFXIV challenge, but yes.
Yeah, FFXIV challenge.
Everyone has to slash follow the paladin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or you try to do it without moving. Just put yourself in one spot and see how time unfolds. It's kind of towards the center, otherwise you're going to get knocked back. But then it becomes like the Typhoon minigame in the Gold Saucer, where you just kind of hope shit doesn't line up with you.
Yeah. I like that minigame.
Yeah, me too. Not in Byaku, though.
So what you're saying is this should have been a Gold Saucer version of that mechanic?
Yes, I'd be fun with that in the Gold Saucer, 100%.
Okay.
There you go. If I can earn
MGP,
if I can do MGP doing that, and every time I get through a stage it gets more difficult, I'm down.
Okay.
I'm 100% down with that. But yeah, I just think that they've made things almost too quality of life now. I feel like as soon as they added cooldown resets and stopped letting you be permanently knocked off of fights after Sephiroth, ever since then shit just like falls over because the amount of time investment just grinds to just all the grinding to a halt because somebody died. That's gone. You just never stop.
Yeah, I mean that's. Do you think that was a good decision?
Yes, I do, because I can tell you right now, if I had to do some of these fights without fucking if I had to do ultimate without cooldown resets, I would be so sad.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree, and I think that's something that a lot of games need to make sure that they introduce to, speaking of broad spectrum of all this stuff, because we need to go into games like PUBG or, if we were talking about BR games, it used to be they made games, I think, sort of like that, but when you died, you had to just sit there until the game was over. Now it's just like, there's nothing for you to do. You just go into the next thing. And so that's kind of the same thing in a way, because you're doing cooldowns. You're like, we beat it. Well, we just go ahead and go back into it. There's no reason to stop and sit here and wait until I can actually enjoy the game again. And so that's a huge quality of life that they should probably apply to more things. But
we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see. But that's it from the Dengeki online interview. I believe we got to talk in detail about MogTalk in the latest episode.
Yeah.
So outside of the fact that Onimos crystals can now be handed in higher stacks, I don't think there's much else to go into today.
Are we on free realm to talk now?
Is there something you really want to discuss right now, Frosty?
Looks like
sounds
it.
like it.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. Feel free. Go ahead.
What's on your mind before we wrap up?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. What are the things that I could promote for myself here?
That wasn't what I asked. that wasn't what I asked.
No, I don't have anything else. I'm good.
I'm not convinced that you really feel that way, but all right.
No, it's fine. That's fine. I can't think of anything really.
Okay. Good.
He's gonna think of it in post show. Watch.
Oh yeah, that's right. You guys do post show, right?
Yeah, we do a short post show.
Okay.
Short one. I got raid in 40 minutes, so definitely a short one. You gotta plug your mom's sandwich shop.
No.
Thank you, Frosty, so much for that. Good lord. You just
If she makes some good sandwiches, you know, she should open up a shop.
Mike, you did.
I would say that I feel like OCP's gonna open up a fucking restaurant, but then I remember we have a Orzean Cafe.
It's gonna be a pop up. It's gonna be a pop up at Fanfest.
A pop up sandwich store.
Yeah.
If that happened, I would go insane. I would just be like, I couldn't fathom how that would even make it from this point to that point.
Anyway, I'm gonna move on.
Okay.
From this, and I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna wrap up the show and then go into a short post show, and then I'm gonna go raid, and then I'm gonna go sleep, and then I'm gonna go sit on a plane for 6 hours. Is that a good plan?
Sounds great. What airline?
Virgin America.
I've never
Which
flown.
Going away April 25th because Alaska bought them a year and a half ago. So be the last time I fly on Virgin America.
Feels bad.
Your virginity's gone.
That's not why it's called Virgin America.
I'm just saying something that
I felt like you were reaching there a little bit.
I reached. It's okay. You got to do that every once in a while. Sometimes you fill on something and you pull it back out and it works out pretty well. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I'm gonna the back scratcher of awkwardness now. This is how I end the moment right now.
Wow.
This is how I end the moment.
Trial and error.
Trial and error. Is your hand's name Trial?
Yeah, I guess.
Lefty's trial, righty's error. What the fuck?
Trial and error. Anyway.
Okay. All right. So, without further ado, Frosty, can you tell us where they can find you?
Yeah. Okay. So remember that second spiel that I was talking about?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Pimp yourself out. Pimp yourself out.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is right now. I'm working to make more episodes for MogTalk. MogTalk is not a static every single Saturday show. Unfortunately, things come up, and I run the show kind of solo, so I don't really have a backup. If things go wrong, then it happens. But we do bring on multiple different guests. So if I have a topic about PvP, I bring on people who can talk about PvP. Unfortunately, not last show. I didn't have a good PvP cast for that segment. But,
I thought we were great.
Yeah. I wonder why.
Yeah. But we'll trial and error.
Yeah, mom's trial and error sandwich.
But yeah, if you want to catch it, it's 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, most Saturdays. And I usually tweet it. You can follow me at FrostyTV stream. Follow the Twitch at Frosty_TV. That's my name. You can right click and follow if you want.
ASDF.
Yeah.
ASDF. I didn't even hear you type it.
Beautiful. So much more room for quality noises.
Like that.
Frosty, you sound like you're into ASMR.
He's into ASDF.
Don't get me started on that. That drives me up the wall, man. It does.
But
There are people out there who have specialized mics. You guys know this. We know this about Twitch. And they sit there and they rub paper on the side of the mics here. Yeah, for fucking hours. And they're like, let me open my calculator 5 times. Oh, this is so great. My stream is the best stream. And like, shouldn't this be on like Pornhub or something? Why is this here on Twitch? This is a fetish, right? It's not like.
No, it's got other. That's just what. Finish shouting out your show.
Okay. All right. If you want to hear more stupid shit like you just heard today from me, please feel free to go over there. I don't usually stream too often. Sometimes I do stream. It will be random. So turn on your notifications if you really care about that, because that's usually the only real way you'll find out. Besides MogTalk, as usually.
Showing up to the show, you turn the notifications on for.
Yes, exactly.
There you go.
Right. That's it. I got it. I feel proud of it.
You feel proud of it. Good. Slyh, is there anything you feel proud of right now?
I'm proud to be alive. Good Lord. Well, you can find me at twitch.tv/Slyh, aka Greyfox. You can find me on Instagram at Slyh, aka Greyfox07. You can find me on Twitter at Slythefox, youtube.com/TheVelvetRoom. Finally got off my ass and put up the Rynoet Chikara playthrough, so that should be there. We will be finishing SMT4 this Saturday, moving to Apocalypse next Saturday, so we can get this shit done before Strange Journey, May 15th, excuse me. Yeah, lots of things. Lots of SMT. How you doing?
I'm doing good. You're not gonna like transition over to me or anything?
Hey, Happy, could you please shout out yourself?
Wow.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd get
ASMR.
Never thought I'd get the chance. You don't want to go there with me. I'll do that thing where I grab my cheek and you do the thing where it makes the slapping noise on the inside. Yeah, I'll do it.
Where's the end button over here?
Where's the end? Blame Slyh if that's the case. I'm Mr. Happy. You can find me Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. And I'm going to PAX East. I'm getting on a plane tomorrow. I'm flying it to Boston. Hopefully there's some good movies on the plane. I'm going to get some Wi-Fi and play some Opera Omnia because the Prish event is in an hour and 36 minutes. And I want to do that because I play that
When's your meetup?
I fucking get into it, Slyh. What happened to trusting me with these things?
You're asking for backup and transition here. I think he was just trying to help out.
Well, he's about 45 seconds too late. I'll be at PAX the whole time. If you see me there, stop me, say hi, take a picture, whatever. Doesn't matter. I'm socially awkward, so don't worry. I'll just say yeah because I'm too afraid to say no. And I'll never be like, all right, I'm scared. Yes, I'll do it. It doesn't matter. I'll always say yes. I also have Kappa cards, which I've already packed, so I can't show you them right now, but I've shown them before, so hopefully you've seen them before. And I also have an official meet and greet at the Twitch booth Saturday at 1:30 p.m. Again, that'll be at the Twitch booth, so if you're going, go there, say hi to me, and meet me and greet me, and I'll greet you, and I'll meet you, and I like meat. But anyway, that's what I'm going to be doing, and it's going to be, hopefully it's not shitty in Boston.
I took you as a guy that liked meat.
Well, I finished all the meat that I had, so
okay.
No greeting the meat, just meeting the greet.
Okay,
there you go. But anyway, with that, we have one last thing to do before we wrap up the show. Slyh apparently still trusts me enough to at least remember this, even though he doesn't trust me enough to remember to shout out my own meet and greet. Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I want to thank our sponsors over on the Patreon. Every week they come back #demonetized, which hasn't been nearly as bad. I like to say that in all honesty. I think that the platform has gotten a better grip on it, but still not 100% because I see it targeting other people more than it targets me. But I just noticed that as of late, so I like to bring it up. So we got to thank our sponsors over on Patreon who have been helping combat #demonetized. Well, that's been a big problem over on YouTube. So I have the list here, and I also had to swap to another image while we were there for our Patron of Light. So let's thank them first. The Patron of Light. That's not even Bane, that's just...
Yeah.
I can do Bane, that's not Bane, though.
Kept it simple. I like it.
Kept it simple. Khuja crosses the Jenova server. Now, for their image this week, it's something a little more in-depth, and it is a full graphic of their entire static. And apparently it's something that describes each of them. Apparently their paladins apparently has issues where they notice their dick is randomly hanging out. And then it says, oath, I don't know her. Tea kettle laugh. Wings the wrong way, wrong place, wrong time. Chaotic neutral evil pulls early and steals aggro. Why don't you fuck me? Strange turkey noises. So this is a normal raid night. This seems like a Nest-esque raid night, reading some of the things that are happening in this. I want to try something. Bully that's bullied. Puns, wins raid, call out boy, poor as fuck. So okay, the person who everyone has to buy pots for. Everyone knows that guy in static. Sly, you used to be that guy. Not anymore.
I used to.
Not anymore.
I used to. Yeah.
I'll give you the right. Yeah.
Thank you.
So
yeah, at least leveled my fucking crap.
Yeah, I mean, this is what they picture of member Static made of us when he cleared Sigmascape Savage for the first time. Use that as a shout out. So hopefully it's not too late. So there you go. That's, you know what? Enjoy your raid night because it's reset night. So this seems like it'll be a good time based on this little graph right here. On that note, though, we have the rest of our sponsors, which quite a hefty list. We have, let me find the right spot here. We have Nyrek Vizsla of the Emerald Dragoon. We have Kifca the Great Eagles on Exodus. We have Dark Graver. We have Kat Ayoshi from Khuja. Skia Symphonia from Ragnarok. Rah Xephon of Exodus. Rylanator Westaur, the Purple Warrior. We have Eadric Redsteele on Exodus. Lexxie Valentine. We have Mantaru the Rivivus FC from Zodiark. We have Sour Creams and Chives. Rynoet Chikara. Goetia Valefar of Siren. Hersh of Faerie. Phoenix Down FC on Goblin. And Serren from Zodiark. I know there's a name missing from that list. And I don't know why it didn't update properly. But luckily, I have the other names right here. Additionally, we have Serren the Avalanche FC on Marlborough. Those are our standard sponsors. Then we have our elite sponsors of Diablo, Holy Tabasco, Red Thorn, Asura, Kurnai Oni, Asken Hawk from Shiva, Oscar, Crass015, Mustang, the Serenity FC on Ultros, Kat Kazuma, Kiriyoshi and the Reckless Tea Party on Cactar, Ignis Farragon from the Diablo server, Palestra of Famfrit, Knock Cordis from Excalibur, Corvus Moonscar, Nakaniami of Balmung, Johnny Odin of Tonberry, Private Mikey, Spike, Nadia Kirasami, Rudy Rudiger, Tin Colossus, Killer Hackman, Roll Jr. Real Gaming, and Kiltastic Jones. Damn.
Thank you, everyone.
Damn.
Thank you to all the new patrons. Thank you so much.
Intense stuff we got going on here. But anyway, with that, we'll go on to a short post show before I log in for raid night. Get my main and my alt raids out of the way since I'll be in Boston for the rest of the week. Looking forward to it. So thank you, Frosty, for joining us and for the chaos.
Thank you so much.
You have wrought.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Hopefully I didn't do that thing that I did last time.
Well, I mean, you'll find out in 121 episodes.
I guess so. I'll start at like a little thing where I'll start marking every single day.
Every Tuesday where you're like, the next Tuesday.
Well, that show is worth 2 years.
You're using up all your points on that one. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. We will see you next week. And it's not Zivia. That won't be for at least 3 weeks. So probably something like a live letter prediction of some kind. Something like that. Short show next week, presumably. We'll see you then, though. Until then, take care.
See you next week.
Bye. See ya. I don't know.
I'm surprised you didn't go with the whole stay fresh.
Is that my